feel bad about that because he'll just edit it out anyway. So.
All right. So I can't actually get into all of the cameras, but calling all vegans. You can do the deed, Mike. Say your name and clap 3 times.
You just have to say Mike Jack.
Mike Jack.
We'll actually have to keep that in, I think. This is just like one of those, it's like the
for
thing like that.
All right.
And go ahead, Jay.
Oh yeah, why not?
in
Actually,
there.
speaking of that, helps if we have our mics.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to say,
I was like, wait, there's these.
what are these cords for? Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness you discovered that.
Oopsie. What have I done here?
I don't know.
How?
Just kind of clip it on. You don't necessarily.
Oh, sorry.
have to,
There it
it's
is.
fine. It's-
Like
You're
maybe
tying quite a
If you-
little
if you
knot
want to
there,
tuck it
huh?
up
You're a
underneath.
sailor?
better,
Or
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Just to the side.
Oh yeah. So Mike, turn yours.
you would think someone named Mike would know how to
Yeah,
put
that
it.
works.
Yeah, I have mine sticking out.
Yeah,
I
my-
always do.
My name, it's Mike Jack. Like, it's the thing you plug the
Yeah,
mic in.
that's
Exactly.
I feel like
That's
mine
right.
is like backwards.
So clip
So
it.
there has to be some kind of nominative determinism. Do you work in that profession? Anything to do with a mic jack?
No.
Damn it. I'm going to ask that as a real
Kind of like
question.
that, right?
Yeah, that works.
But no, it's inside my
It's
throat.
okay.
Yeah,
It'll
it's
still
fine.
pick up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I tend to orientate them where you can't actually see the mic, and it
Oh,
actually
okay.
acts a little bit more of a wind block on it.
Okay.
So we should be good.
So I'm just heavy breathing into my own.
Just wait, you're sitting on my cord.
Whoops.
Oh,
Everything okay over there?
Yeah, I just pulled a little taut, but everything's still connected.
Okay.
Those are all going into a singular.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. So can you do me a favor? Look over on the laptop here.
Yep.
Can you speak for
You're
a
looking
moment?
for levels
yeah,
on the
for
mic.
me
Jack.
to
They're
talk?
all moving.
So we got
Mike
things
Jack,
going here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suspar?
Yeah, it's
Suspar?
connected.
Oh, that's not as
Yeah,
good
we're
as Mike
good.
Jack and Jamie Jack.
Close enough for government.
Jack? Mike Jack?
All right. Take 24.
Yeah.
Calling all vegans.
Mike Jack?
Jamie Jack?
Okay, we're still having a really good time here in London, Ontario, and we're here in the home of, well, I don't want to say their names yet because I haven't introduced them, so, but they very kindly opened their home up to us, so. Pardon?
Surprise!
Surprise! No doubt you remember the American reality slapstick comedy TV series, Jackass, featuring dudes carrying out stunts and pranks on each other or the public, eating some really hot food, one being snorting wasabi paste. We sort of have our own vegan version sitting down with us, and he just so happens to have the very fortunate last name of Jack. He smashed a whole host of Guinness World Records, 4 of the 8 for his amazing ability to handle heat and eat stupid hot peppers. Not that anyone thought otherwise, but and I think Alec is getting in on this too. We're going to prove how wimpy we are by trying out some heat much further down on the Scoville scale, which we'll learn more about. I have lots of burning questions, and we're going to do the interview first because I may be struck mute, paralyzed, or even hospitalized after this foolishness. He and his manager wife are sugar and spice and everything nice. Please welcome the king of heat and his spicy queen, and they're also pretty cool, Mike and Jamie Jack, to Calling All Vegan. Yay!
You know, Sue likes to give me a hard time for all of the bad puns, but
Yeah.
that intro,
Nice, huh? It's been a terrible influence on me. So, go man, go.
okay. So how did all this testing of your limits begin with the heat test and everything?
Well, I guess the long story is like I never really like was into heat or anything. Like as a kid, like my parents and family weren't into it. There was no hot sauce in the fridge or anything like that. And I got more into it when I was in college and with my roommates, and it sort of started almost like a dare. How things in college start.
Yeah.
And
was alcohol involved?
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it was like one of those things like, oh, what's the matter, Mike? Like you don't want hot sauce on your pizza? Are you a wuss or something?
Uh-oh.
So, then
I ain't no wuss.
Yeah, exactly. So I tried some hot sauce and I liked it and stuff. And basically, I liked it so much I would put more and more on my food, and my tolerance would grow. So eventually, like I would put so much hot sauce on my food that it was kind of making my food soggy. Like it was almost more like sauce than food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So the fry that was once like this is like
exactly right.
Needed the Viagra.
Yeah.
So I started my search for like hotter and hotter hot sauces, and along the journey, a coworker of mine actually told me about Pucker Butt Pepper Company. Which is it's a company run by a guy who goes by Smokin' Ed Curry. He's in Fort Mill, South Carolina, and he is the creator of the Guinness record holder for the world's hottest pepper, the Carolina Reaper. So I got some of his Carolina Reaper hot sauce, and I would usually when I up my game with the sauces, I start with just a little dab on my food, and then eventually, I'd add more and more, and now I use like Carolina Reaper hot sauce like most people would use like Tabasco
ketchup.
Or Frank's right out, like ketchup, yeah, basically. So that's kind of how I got into testing my limits for heat, and then along the way, one of my friends wanted to start a YouTube channel. He was into YouTube and saw people were having success with that and everything. And we weren't too sure what we were gonna do, but he just came up with this idea. He's like, oh, like you're really good with hot sauce. Like there's these people on YouTube who are like eating hot peppers and doing stuff like that. Like maybe we can make something kind of like that. And I was like, oh, I had no idea people were doing this. So I kind of started watching some stuff, and at the time I was like, I can never do what these people are doing. So we started like it was called Mike and Drew's Hot Reviews, and what we would do is we would try something like really hot, and then we would review a movie and try to like struggle through it, right? So the thing was kind of the humor in it was my friend Drew. He would get really messed up from the heat, and he would have a hard time.
You'd have to tap out.
Doing anything. Yeah. And then I would kind of like be okay, and then I guess people just wanted to see me like push my limits. They're like, do something like hotter, so Mike actually like is like hurting and stuff.
Yeah.
So, just to like
Drew.
Yeah, like Drew. Like let's see Mike like react to something. So I started eating more and more peppers. Like I got like Carolina Reapers, and we did a video where I did 1, and I did I think 3, and then 5, and then 8, and then I was like, well, what's like something like impressive? So there's people doing this challenge called the Screaming Eagles Challenge, which was 21 super hot peppers, and it didn't necessarily have to be Carolina Reapers, but I was like, let's just go for it all, right? Yeah. So I made a video where I ate 21 Carolina Reapers. And I think that's when people were like...
So to take it seriously.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, like I can do... So I was like, well, what is the most Carolina Reapers somebody's eaten? So, like kind of trying to ask people on Facebook and stuff and doing my own like kind of research. I found a video where somebody who goes by the Chili Queen, Brianna Skinner from Australia, she ate, I'm pretty sure it was 23 or 24 Carolina Reapers at this like competition, right? So I set up a charity fundraiser at the brewery just down the street there, and I ended up eating 30 Carolina Reapers.
So you don't just go one over and break the record.
Yeah, you gotta make sure it's like the line is drawn. Oh, that was the starting line, right?
So this was all just over the course of like not even a year. Like I think it was I think I went from 1 Carolina Reaper to the 21, like, I think that was like, just within like not even 6 months maybe.
Good.
But then, after I ate the 30, people were asking me like, so that's like the most anybody's eaten really, but is that a Guinness record? And I was like, I don't know how Guinness records work. Like, I don't really know. So then I started looking into Guinness records and looking into it and saw they're all like speed based and stuff like that, and eating so many in a certain amount of time and everything. So I was like, I don't know, like, let's try that. So I looked at the pepper records that they had, and I was like, honestly, I was like, well, let's start with the easiest one and see if I can beat that. So I did like a practice run, and I almost beat it in the practice run, but I had dropped the first pepper, so I was like, if I didn't drop that one, I would have beat it. So I set up like I
could have been a contender.
But then, so I set up like another charity friend with my friend who also did a Guinness record that day too. He did a fire breathing Guinness record, so it was called like an evening of heat. So I was eating peppers, he was breathing fire, and we were like raising.
That's an understatement. Like, that's the most understated title I've ever heard.
So an evening of heat, because we did it as a charity to like to raise funds and get clothing for like homeless people in London
lovely.
for 519 Pursuit, which is a charity that we like here in London.
How is that? 519?
It's called 519 Pursuit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But anyway, so I ended up breaking a Guinness record then, and then I was like, well, let's break some more. So I just kind of kept going.
Well, it's a good thing they do put like timelines on them, because I could probably eat 50 of those things over a lifetime, right? I get a lot of people could break a record then, right?
Like, they just like them short times. Just they say it's for like safety and stuff like that. Instead of doing like, they don't want people to like overeat and like hurt themselves, sort of thing, I guess. So instead of doing it like most peppers eaten in an hour or anything, even so, it's all short times, like 1 minute or 3 minutes, stuff like that.
So you mentioned that you didn't grow up with hot sauce and that type of stuff around you, but
Yeah.
were you always a bit of a daredevil, going against the grain type thing?
Kind of, I guess so. Yeah, David's nodding her head like, I was. It's something that I've kind of like, I kind of had to dial back a bit, actually, because I used to be just like a really competitive person. And I just like really would, if I really wanted to win something and I didn't win, I would get really upset, and it just like really caused a lot of just like unnecessary stress in my life. Like, I was, really competitive playing video games with my, roommates in college and stuff like that, and just like anything like in my, day job and stuff like that, just being really competitive, and it just really didn't really get me anywhere, and it just caused like extra stress.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of more about just trying to be stress free and stuff like that. So I've kind of taken a different approach. It's more about just like testing myself and testing my limits instead of trying to like, beat other people. Is kind of
Or just, you
I'm
could
going
always
for
just participate in things you're going to win, then there's no stress, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's there's not as much fun in that. Like, if there's something that I'm like, I have to push myself to like achieve, then I think that's enough of a competitiveness for me. But trying to just like aim it towards like other people, or trying to be better than other people, like it just caused way too much stress. Yeah.
So, Jamie, how did you're like, this is a pretty intense counterpart you got going on here. How does this play out with you?
At first, I don't remember the time. I was trying to think of it, but I was like, no more eating peppers, because he's like on the floor in the bathroom and throwing up, and I'm like, okay, like, this can't be like good for you, right? Which is kind of what everybody thinks. And he's like, no, it's okay. And I was like, okay, well, I'm a big like advocate for research, so research it and tell me, and make sure that it is safe, So he did research and find out it's safe, and I was like, okay. And then I'd give him his water, and I'd be like, okay, you did this to yourself, kind of thing.
You feel like you have the self-inflicted wound, right?
I guess the follow-up to that is, do you like spicy food?
Yeah, so like I have a really high tolerance. The first, I I guess I haven't done like a ton of challenges, but like the one challenge a couple years ago was like we went to Taco Fest and they had, so we were going for Mike, and like my parents came down and we're watching him, and it was like and then for the men, because it was men and women, so I think it was like for the men it was 3 tacos with a bunch of hot sauce and 5 peppers. And then Mike was like, "Oh, they're looking for women. Just do it." And I was like, this is like when I was eating like a lot of just habanero sauce. Yeah. Was like my limit. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of hungry. Like, it's free food, like free dinner, okay. And so it was, for us, it was 3 tacos with hot sauce and then 3 super hot peppers. So I did it. And then I was like, okay, like, I didn't know. I don't know if I'd ever eaten a pepper before kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it went from, I just do habanero sauce to just head first into the shallow end and going crazy, huh?
Yeah. Because there was a point where I was like, my tolerance was habanero sauce, but I was like doing what Mike said, covering my food. And he's like, you got to go up a little. Like, I was using a bottle in like 4 days.
So that's how it goes, huh?
Yeah.
See, it's not the same for me. I like hot sauce. I like hot sauce a lot. My wife, she's not interested in it at all.
I think John and I are the opposite. Yeah, because I'm more the I'll throw a little bit of hot sauce on something, and he's like anti-condiments anyway, so he doesn't even want ketchup. It's like, well, I should divorce you, but you're a nice guy. I'll keep you around.
I think it's probably like good that I like the hot sauce, because like our fridge is literally full of sauce, and I see so many people being like, my partner says I have too much sauce, where like I'm like, oh, like I don't care how much, as long as we can close the door.
Forget that, the fridge and your cupboards, and then what's the cellar called now? The sauce.
Oh, the sauce cellar.
Yeah. The sauce cellar.
That's a new name for the basement. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, like when it comes to buying hot sauce, like when we go to like hot sauce expos and shows and stuff like that. And when we're, figuring out what we're going to buy, it's usually Jamie who's like wants to buy the sauce. Like she's more into it than I am now as far as the actual hot sauce goes. Like, whereas it used to be like I'd be like, oh, like, because people would send me sauce and want me to try it and like talk about it on YouTube and stuff like that, and I would be more like, oh, like these ones they're not really hot for me.
It's
like
weak sauce.
I'll give them to Jamie sort of thing. But now it's like she wants the same sauces that I want, so it's like, it's like.
Well, I'm not a shopper. Like maybe I should like relinquish my woman card or something. I don't know, because I hate clothes shopping and all that. But yeah, I love like shopping for food, like vegan food or whatever. So this seems like you're right in there with the
like we're kind of. Like, so it's weird. Like, I don't like clothes shopping.
Yeah.
We're like...
My sister. I found you.
I know. Like, we're minimalist. Except when it comes to hot sauce. Yeah. And then we have, like, then we're like maximalists.
If you're gonna choose a vice, I guess you gotta go big, go home.
Well, and I loved listening to you guys before, because you were talking about hot sauce, like the way you were talking about it was just like a couple of wine snobs almost, right? Like you were like these wine pros, because you just knew everything and talking about, let's eat that.
So I see that you got yourself a nice little belt going on there. Can you tell us
what? Oh, this thing? I didn't notice, right?
This right here? Yeah. Yeah, this is the, I just won this, what was it, like a month ago, I guess now, right?
Yeah, a month and a half.
A month and a half ago, yeah. So it's the American Chili Eating Championship belt from the League of Fire. So I'm the American champ right now.
Full respect.
For both North and South America.
Yeah, it's the America's belt. Yeah. So that's cool. So the League of Fire, it's like an organization from the UK, and they're working to try to make chili eating more of like a global sport. Mm-hmm. So they have there's a few different belts now. There's like the America's belt. There's an Oceanic belt with a belt holder. There's the World belt, and then they're actually I think it's actually tomorrow that they're gonna have a match to declare the European belt holder, and once kind of logistics around COVID worked itself out. Like all the belt holders are going to get together to compete for a world belt.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited for that, getting
Wow.
to compete for the world title.
So you now hold the title.
And I hold the title.
Was there a previous holder prior?
There wasn't, no, but they had they invited like some of the biggest like chili eaters in in the Americas that are known to Ottawa to compete. And to be honest, it was there was a couple good people from America who couldn't make it because of travel and COVID and stuff like that.
I still think it's because they didn't want to.
That's what I
lose
think.
to you.
It might be
COVID was just the excuse.
Yeah,
they
it could
gave,
have been.
right?
Yeah.
So what happens if are you going to have to ever give it up?
Well, if I'm ever defeated, I'll have to give it up, but that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to hold on to this forever. They're going to pry it out of my cold dead hands.
Jamie, can you please explain the Scoville scale? We're going down to basics here. So what's the hottest pepper, and how does its placement on the scale compare to like a jalapeno, let's say?
I think you probably know the numbers more than me, but the hottest pepper is the Carolina Reaper. And is it maybe like 1 to 2 million? I think.
Yeah, it's usually in the range of like I think in the Guinness records it like averages at like 1.6, but it can get up to 2 million.
Right.
And then a jalapeno is maybe 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Good.
It's about 3,000.
But that being said, not all jalapenos or Carolina Creepers
Reapers
are all created equally, right? Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I call like jalapenos like kind of Russian roulette. Like you eat one and there's no heat.
it tastes like a bell pepper.
But then, but then the one day I ate one and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is hot. Like I feel like I ate a habanero. But the one I had before, there was zero heat. So it's very strange like that.
Well, and interesting, it's often the tip that gets a lot of us into trouble, but that's another story. But that's not the case with hot peppers. Where is the hottest part in a hot pepper?
The hottest part of a hot pepper, like a lot of people think it's the seeds, but what it is, it's actually like it's called either like the pith or the placenta of the pepper.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you cut open a bell pepper,
That
and
membrane
there's like
looking
there's like the white part at the the top near the stem, and it has the seeds on it. So I think that's why a lot of people think it's the seeds, because it's like it's the part that the seeds are touching. It's like the oily part. And when you're talking about how like not all peppers are the same, like it's some pepper growers are able to, like, I don't know how they do it because I'm not a great like gardener or anything, but like Smoking Ed Curry, I got to eat some of his peppers before, and his are just filled with pith. Like they're just like they're like heavy.
Pith
like
heavy.
Yeah, it's like usually you bite into them and there's like a lot of air. Like if you cut into a bell pepper or whatever.
Yeah.
But his peppers were just pure white, oily, just heat.
Right. So
They've been on
through
for
breeding,
quite a while.
you could breed them even hotter and hotter.
Yeah, for
across
sure.
the-
Yeah, yeah.
So do you consider yourself an athlete of sorts, like putting your body through what you do? I mean, this is more of a sport than hunting or horse racing any day of the week, right? So we can all agree there for sure.
I consider competitive eating a sport, and chili eating a sport. There's a lot of training that I actually do to like get ready for this. Like for this belt, it was probably like the most lengthy training process that I've done, and I have to thank my coach and manager Jamie for putting me through it and making sure I stick to my guns, my routine, and getting through everything. So yeah, I worked up for this belt. I really wanted to win it, and I was training for like 2 months before to try to get ready. So I was just the hottest stuff I could get to boost my tolerance. I was working on, I was doing other challenges like leading up to this to try to get into the right like mental state, because a lot of it is mind over matter too, right? Like you got to you want to build up a tolerance so you don't feel the heat so much, but you also have to learn how to deal with the heat and not panic, because that's like what That's
Like
why, that's why people
what's going to happen to us
there,
later.
right? Yeah.
So do you have like a pepper idol, like somebody that you aspire or inspires you?
Oh, yeah, like I guess.
Your mentor.
I guess I've had different like pepper idols over time. I guess like my first kind of pepper idol was the YouTuber LA Beast. He started off as a competitive eater, and then he got into like eating hot peppers and stuff like that. And I guess he's broken some Guinness records. He actually like had one of the Guinness records that I have now. I didn't take it directly from him. Somebody else beat him, and then I beat that person. But it felt it was amazing to get that Guinness record that one of my like idols kind of held.
That's cool.
But yeah, there's
what a feeling that would be.
A couple pepper eaters that I kind of look up to and I aspire to be a little bit is there's one he goes by his name's Dustin Johnson, the Atomic Menace. He's out of LA and he's really great.
He's out of Las Vegas.
Oh, sorry, what did I say?
LA.
Oh, sorry, Las Vegas.
You can just like
see, that's why they pay.
He's from Vegas, and actually, my first pepper competition I was ever in, I got to compete with him.
Right.
It was it was like a world championship of pepper eating, the first ever kind of its kind.
Right.
I got to represent Canada and go to South Carolina and meet Smokin' Ed Curry, who's
Mr. Carolina
created the Carolina Reapers, yeah. And it was on a Netflix series called We Are the Champions. So so it was pretty cool. You can check me out on Netflix there. And Dustin ended up winning that one. People call him they call him the Terminator. They say he's a robot because he can't possibly be human handling this kind of heat.
And showing just being super chill, you can tell he's good at keeping his mind calm and stuff like that.
Sounds like a psychopath.
He is, yeah. The other crazy thing he does a Rubik's Cube sometimes. At that competition, he had a Rubik's Cube. So just in between, when they're handing out peppers, he's doing his Rubik's Cube.
Oh, he's trying to psych everybody else out. Look how cool I am.
And somebody else I really look up to is the current world champ right now. Her name is Shahina Wasim. She's the UK chili queen. And she kind of created this idea to try to make competitive chili eating almost like a travel sport. So she's in the UK. There's a lot of chili festivals and stuff like that. So during pepper season there'll be one or two a weekend. So she'd travel across the UK.
The hot pepper circuit.
The hot pepper circuit, right? Winning all these championships, and she's she's got a crazy record now. It's something she's 85-1 or something like that. So it's it's nuts. Ooh. But she kind of made this idea that you could trying to make it a sport and stuff like that. And it seems like League of Fire was kind of based around her kind of journey to try to make this more of a sport, more of a thing. It would be awesome if this was an Olympic sport, that was the ultimate goal, right?
If speed walking can be a sport in the Olympics, I think we can justify.
There's been so many crazy things. There was I saw that one year in the Olympics, it was hot air balloon races was a sport, and I'm if that can be a sport,
come on.
And I'm people, a lot of people don't know about competitive chili eating, but once they kind of see what it is, or if they if they're happen upon a competition or whatever, it's an entertaining thing to watch. It's intense. You see these people trying to get through this pain. It's just the ultimate.
Endurance test of some sort.
Test, exactly. Crazy. Yeah.
So, Jamie, when you guys go on vacation, is it usually pepper related? Is there something always spicy going on?
Segueing off of this whole.
A couple of years ago, when Mike was talking about being super competitive in that, I was okay, we need to go on some non-chili. So
how boring.
So we he would pick his chili thing, and then I would pick our like
The non-chili thing?
But like our non-chili, like, so for example, we went to Florida because my bucket list thing was like swimming with sharks. So we went to Florida, did that, went to the Everglades, but then we came upon a hot sauce store and like went in there, and then we went, like, we would seek out restaurants that had like spicy
The
dishes.
itinerary was shot after that. The hot sauce.
It was
took
like
over.
a good balance.
Yeah.
And you know, like I was like, you know, we went to Chicago, and then literally like a month later we went to South Carolina, and then I was like, okay, let's do the Florida thing, and then this year we went to Ottawa, and then about a month later we went to Montreal. But we always just like incorporate like fun non-chili things too. But yeah, like there's always
Well, yeah, I saw you guys posing in these Barbie, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that, but yeah, that was kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah, the Barbie.
You
Expo
were
was-
like human Barbies, right?
Yeah, that started because we went to like a pepper competition or a hot sauce show in Montreal, and then we kind of like made a little trip out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see how much fun hot sauce, almost killing yourself can be. Yeah.
But like we always bring sauce with us, or like we went to Mexico a couple years ago for like my brother's birthday, so we went to the gift shop and like bought some sauce and carried it around with us. Like,
And I imagine when you're trying to cross the border or whatever, or get on a plane, they're like, well, who are these freaks with 60 hot sauces in their suitcase?
They all have to be under 100 mil, though.
Just a thimbleful, just a little shooter, right?
The border guard thought it was he thought we were crazy when we went to the Chicago Hot Sauce Expo and we're crossing the border, and he's like, oh, like, so why are you entering into America? And we're like, oh, we're going to Chicago Hot Sauce Expo. And they're like, there's expos for that? There's like enough people who are
He thinks you're lying, and he's like, I'm sorry, sir, you're gonna have to stand over here.
Or even better is like when we're coming back, right? So we come back and they're like, oh, like, how much did you spend in America? And we're like $300. And they're like, what did you buy? Hot sauce. And they're like, what else did you buy? Just hot sauce.
So, shifting gears a little bit, were you guys, both of you, animal lovers growing up, and what led you towards veganism?
Yeah, like I think, I don't want to speak for you, but I think that we're both like pretty big animal lovers, like growing up.
yeah, like, you know, when I was younger, one of my favorite animals at the time was like the killer whale. Like I always was kind of, I guess, drawn to maybe like sea creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked. I remember like I always wanted to pick like kind of weird animals. When people ask like, "What's your favorite animal?" and the little kids would be like, "I like dogs and I like cats," and I'd be like, "I liked three-toed sloths and ring-tailed lemurs. That's my name." So like I always wanted to be different like that. But yeah, like I always liked animals and stuff like that. And I guess I never, I never really, when you're a little kid and everybody is like eating animals and stuff like that, you don't really like put it together, or you don't really, you don't really.
Well, we're so heavily indoctrinated anyway. It's
Right.
pretty hard. It's everywhere. So
Yeah.
But you eventually did make the connection, so what led to that?
I think that I think what kind of led to it was really.
if you
like,
say hot sauce, I'm gonna my mind's gonna be blown.
It was before our hot sauce or spicy journey kind of began. I think that it was just like Jamie had some time between jobs, and it kind of like got her like just like kind of thinking about life and just what we're doing and what we could do to be a better person. And she kind of just like she had a lot of time off and was just spending time like thinking about things. I don't want to tell like your whole story for you.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Like my contract had ended at my job, and I was like, okay, I want to change my life, but like I don't know how to change it. So like, what can we change? So like, we had like dabbled a little bit like with minimalism stuff, and so I just kind of like researched like minimalism, zero waste, like organic eating, like stuff like that. And I had actually like stopped eating meat about 20 years ago, like for about 3 months. Like this was like before the internet, and I didn't know anybody else. And so I did it for a summer, and then I had went back to college, and then, just things happen. And,
Right.
and I always kind of thought, like, oh, I really, liked doing that. But you just hear veganism, and, it just sounds like I don't know, what could I eat kind of thing. And then I did my research in that, and I stopped eating, I guess I said, land animals. So I stopped eating, chicken, cows, pigs, stuff like that. And then you were, about a month later, you were like, yeah, this seems like a good idea. So we did it for the animals and the environmental effects. And then we watched, Fork Over Knife. And it got to the part where it started talking about fish, and I was like, push pause, and I was like, after we watch this, I'm gonna be vegan. I knew, because once we watched the fish part, especially someone that loves the ocean and stuff, I would never be able to. So I always remembered that part. It's I knew that after I watched it, but that I still wanted to watch it.
It's amazing how you mentioned earlier that animal life in the sea and the water was something that you were passionate about, but at the same time we're somehow able to we make these separations in our mind where it's there's a disconnect, and somehow we are still able to continue doing something, but it's contrary to something else that we care about passionately. And then when you make that connection, you knew before you even made it, right?
I try to think why, why do they do that? And I don't know if it's because you can physically see cows and pigs and chicken, but it is a little bit harder to see fish and stuff like that.
You should read the book "What a Fish Feels" by Jonathan Balcombe.
Okay,
he's amazing.
And there's so much so I love sharks.
Right.
I love sharks so much. But there's so much dangerous misinformation about sharks. We went swimming, not in a cage, with sharks. And we have all our limbs still. They didn't want to eat us. So I think that, I don't know, people are scared of the sea maybe?
Well, you know what kills me with sharks? When they say, shark-infested waters. That's like saying human-infested cities.
Yeah.
It's buddy, that's where they live. So get out of the water if you don't want to, have anything happen, or you're worried about it.
Even before I was vegan, I was I don't belong in the water. So if I go in there, then I take that risk.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Hey, you're not just my don't shop for clothes sister.
I think it's just one of those things, right? It's we were born well, not born, but pretty much raised eating meat and stuff like that. And then when you see somebody who's vegetarian, or hear about vegetarians or vegans and stuff like that, then you're kind of, it's easier for you to try to it's easier for people to try to make excuses how to stay the same, instead of actually making a positive change. But
you see, you were somebody who kind of went against the grain, so it shouldn't have been too difficult for you.
Yeah, I had known people who were vegetarian and stuff in high school, and I guess the thing was I always had it in my head that I just thought it must not be healthy. There's this thing about protein, and you need protein and stuff like that, right? And then I think after we watched we watched a few documentaries, pretty much in the same day, or the same couple days. And I was just after watching the first one, I think it was Forks Over Knives that really I was this is you don't need to do this. And I think once I got it in my head, I love animals, and they're they have the same life experiences we do. You know what I mean? They, and it's healthy not to eat them. I think once I
definitely healthier for them, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think once I understood that, then I was just why am I doing this? And we pretty much stopped cold turkey. It was just I guess
we had stuff in the freezer that we were giving to people.
Just want to get it out of
just to get it out of the house and stuff. I guess before that, we were there's we deep down we knew But we're like going like
It's kind of the willful ignorance thing in
and
a
so
way.
we're going organic, and we're like, oh, like they're being like treated better because it's organic, and then you find out like
It's all green.
that it's
Yeah,
all just
yeah.
exactly. And you know, even if you treat them like so well, if you like, you know, they don't want to die, and then you're killing them you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they're just, you know, you guys know obviously,
yeah.
but it's like you're killing them when they're babies, like they're
Yeah.
like they're you know.
If we were to do these same things to humans, we'd be seen as psychopaths, right?
Yeah,
Yet it
yeah.
seems it's okay to do
Yeah,
it to
or you
animals for
do
some
you do it to
crazy.
a dog and you're a psychopath.
Exactly,
right? Like,
yeah.
If you treat a dog like you treat a pig, like, you know, like you could kill a dog when it's like, you know, what is it like? Is it 60 days or 90 days they keep pigs for?
They're very young.
Yeah,
that's
it's
for
nuts.
sure.
Yeah. So
I think they're 6 months old at the
Yeah.
like the height, like the maximum.
yeah.
It's
Jamie, you had mentioned earlier about the zero waste, minimalist
Yeah.
lifestyle. It's kind of ironic how, like, my wife was following different zero waste pages as a vegan and trying to get people to think about, you know, it's so great that you're getting all these different items to reduce the waste, but if you want to go zero waste, why are you still buying luncheon meat? Why do you need to find a container to be able to bring that in? So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, if you want to reduce your waste, removing animal products out of your diet should be on your top list of the goals.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, I think the craziest thing, right, is like, you know, people talk about like water and wasting water, right? And it's like, what's the stat? It's something like the amount of water it takes to create like a pound of beef, like cow flesh, is equivalent to like 6 months worth of showers.
It's
So
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, you're worried about your tap like dripping or whatever, but then you're gonna go eat a hamburger after, you know.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense.
And the feed that goes into feeding these animals.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like the breakdown of the
Yeah.
the usage of what it takes
And
to
the
make
water
it. It's
to
like-
grow,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
mind-boggling. My wife had to actually leave several zero waste groups because of the frustration with that.
Yes, I've
The lack of
had.
the
Yes,
conversation.
I've done that too. I tend to steer towards zero waste vegan groups.
Yeah.
That's what she's
Because
saying as
it's
well.
it
a
has
weird
to be much
concept.
more niche like
Yeah.
that, or else you're gonna get frustrated.
And like kind of at the time we were like transitioning like our life, we were watching like a lot of documentaries on like developing countries and like their food sources and stuff like that. And I was like, well, we can't eat all this food and waste all this food when there's people in like, you know,
Yeah.
we're really passionate about India. People in India like literally starving. But like we're just wasting this food.
Yeah.
Like we have to have some kind of like world
it's
balance.
twisted, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost perverted.
Yeah.
To think of it.
And like, you know, like we could end world hunger by the world becoming vegan because most of the food that we're growing is going to animals
Yeah.
You're
where
right, exactly.
it could be grown for people.
It's ridiculous when you look at the numbers, the amount. It's like 70% of the agricultural land could be rewild and still feed
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's crazy.
that was heavy, guys.
Yeah.
Heavy.
All right, so
All right. So now
Get
this.
something lighter.
Yeah. Okay, the getup you wear.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a cross between Olivia Newton-John's Let's Get Physical video and the 20-minute workout. Remember that from back in the 80s? It was who is responsible for this look, and how many different headbands and tank tops do you own?
Well, I
Only
guess,
the deep questions.
I guess
Only-
I'm responsible for
Yeah.
You're not taking any responsibility for this. She's like, I'm not getting blamed for this.
Yeah, I just thought like, I guess like I just thought like sweatbands were
Looks sporty.
yeah, it's sporty and it's funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, like like retro. Like I'm into, you know, retro 80s culture and stuff
So
like that.
you know,
so
you full well know what 20-minute workout is. Or was that 70s?
yeah,
I can't remember.
I kind of know. Yeah, I kind of know that. But yeah, I'm just like, you know, like I kind of want to show like chill eating and competitive eating as a sport. So I thought I'd dress sporty, and yeah.
Well, it's like when we
headbands are
were
fun.
talking about speciesism. If you say things enough, then people start to cop
Yeah.
onto it. And
Yeah,
and then
exactly,
so
yeah.
you keep saying this is
And
a sport.
how many headbands do I have? I have like 1, 2, 3. I have like 5 headbands.
You have 3 like different like topic ones.
Yeah.
I guess
Kind
so,
of
yeah. Like I've got my custom Mike Jack ET headband that I'm wearing now, and I have a Pocky One Chip Challenge headband, which is the
I saw
spicy chips, which I've eaten a lot of.
How many did you eat in that one sitting? I watched a video of that.
My personal best is I ate 54 Pocky One Chip Challenges, which is crazy because most people have a hard time eating one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I have a couple Tough Mudder headbands because I've done a couple.
Because you're a tough mudder,
mudders.
are you?
That's how your headband started.
That's how the headband. Yeah, because I had them, so I was like, why don't I wear them in a video?
I have one grubby little headband I wear just to wash my face at night. That's it. But
and then I've got one for Heatwave Hot Sauce Expo, which is it's really Canada's like first hot sauce expo, and we started it here in London, Ontario.
Very cool.
So yeah.
So,
Nice.
if it's not going to cause any major tension,
Uh-oh.
do you each have a favorite hot sauce?
it's not like picking a favorite child or anything here. Just
We do.
Yeah.
And are you willing to divulge?
well,
to the masses?
like if they do endorsements,
Yeah, that's what
I don't
saying.
know if you do endorsements, but
Well,
like
I
you don't
know,
want to
like-
go if you have a sponsor or something.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
want to say.
Yeah, no, I don't have a hot sauce sponsor like
Yeah.
per se or
If
anything.
anybody
Yes.
wants to,
Yeah,
reach out.
yeah.
That's my favorite hot sauce then.
My favorite hot sauce is
Yeah.
your hot sauce.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like yeah, it's tough to pick favorites because I have a lot of friends in the hot
Yeah,
sauce.
Oh,
industry
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I like a lot of hot sauce, and I just like hot sauce in general.
Yeah.
But I would say my favorite hot sauce right now is it's called Garlic Reaper, and it's by Torchbearer Hot Sauces. It was on the show Hot Ones, so it's got a little bit of fame from that. Yeah, they're out of Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Jamie.
I'm very passionate about my favorite.
Okay.
So my favorite is
So he's
this-
fickle. He's
I'm fickle, I guess.
I guess I get really passionate about like flavors and that, but my favorite is from this company in Port Perry called Hurtberry Farms, and their big thing is like every couple months they put out a limited sauce. So once it's gone, it's gone.
Oh.
So last year, like right before the pandemic, they had made their Chlorifier. It's like it's very like there's a lot of lemongrass, ginger. It's a super hot one.
Does it cleanse the palate?
And like yes, it does. And we ate it, and I was like, this is really good. Like, should I buy some more bottles? And I was like, I don't know. Then it was gone, and I like instantly regretted it. And then
Is this one of your life's biggest regrets?
yes, so
actually?
then we had become like friends with them, and they were like looking at stores they sell to for me, and everyone was sold out, and I was like, you have to make it again. And then at Christmas time there was a store in the States that had 6 bottles left. So I was like, I don't care like how much shipping costs, like I'm buying them, and I bought them all.
Some
and
poor little kid went without their hot sauce under the Christmas tree because
Don't
he got all
a few
sick.
drops at a
Yeah.
time so you can savor the flavor.
yeah, and I'm like, you need to pass my series of questions to be worthy of this sauce.
Oh, wow. So, is there any heat that is just too much that you can't take?
There's stuff that like really hurts me, but I'll do it anyway. I
But
guess.
you haven't met the. Okay, how about this? Have you met a heat that you're like, I don't want to do that again?
I have said that before, but
That's like when
I
we.
keep going back. I
It's
just
like
keep going back.
hangovers, right?
Yeah.
You keep saying, "I'll never drink again," but then
Like there have definitely been times over this journey of eating peppers where I'm like, especially in the beginning where I would do a challenge, and afterwards I would just be like hurting so much, just my guts would just be like really hurting, and I would just be like, why do I do this to myself? I'm not gonna ever. I'm done with the pepper stuff. But then once that pain goes away and you kind of like see the video and you see like what you've accomplished, and you're just like, whoa, like that was pretty cool. I can't, like, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah.
What's the next thing? You know what I mean? So now I'm kind of like, I know what I'm in store for. Like no matter what I do, I know
You're going to survive
what's
it.
going to happen after, and I know I'm going to survive. And I keep getting a higher and higher tolerance, and with that, like, I bounce back like a lot faster. Like, I've heard people be like, oh, I tried this challenge and I was hurting for days, and I'll be like, oh, I was like back up and doing stuff like, like 6 hours later, or stuff like that, you know what I mean?
That's kind of like the thing people ask you. Like, that's why your second most biggest question. It's like, how long did it take you to recover?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, like the most it ever takes me now is like about 12 hours, but yeah, like some of the stuff is like, I don't know, like I'm just getting better at recovering. Like when we went to Montreal, I did the pepper competition there and won pretty easy, and then we just hung out the rest of the day, and I wasn't really hurting.
So later we're going to be doing a self-test here going on.
Oh yeah.
Nothing that we need to worry about a recovery for you, at least?
For me, no, not for
Okay.
for you guys.
Okay, what's a calf cramp?
A calf cramp?
Yeah.
Oh, a calf cramp.
Am I going to
That's,
have to worry about such a thing?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It depends on
I might tap out though, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see
Yeah,
how
we'll
it
see
goes.
how it goes. Play
But
it.
a calf cramp, it's called a calf cramp. It's a capsaicin cramp. Capsaicin's the chemical in the pepper that makes it feel hot, right? So capsaicin cramp is like once the pepper or hot thing like gets down into your guts, it feels like it's like a cramp, but it's not like when you're running and you get a cramp. It's like a lot worse. To be honest, like it feels like somebody has just like taken their hand and stuck it right in your guts and just grabbed on your intestine and just squeezed it and gave it a twist.
Oh.
Now,
And it's really painful if you get a really bad one, for sure.
so when that happens, you definitely know Johnny Cash is going to be coming on?
I guess, yeah, but like here's the thing though too, like people talk about this, and that I would get asked a lot about that too, like, oh, like how was it in the bathroom the next day, sort of thing.
We didn't want to be indelicate.
Yeah.
Of course, we would never ask such a
Of
thing.
course
Meanwhile,
not. Of course.
let's see, what page was that
It was like set up, yeah. So like, but here's the thing though, like I have actually never experienced that. I've never had the burn butt or the ring of fire or whatever. At first, like I thought it was kind of like a joke thing that people were talking about, but I've heard somebody told me before, or I saw somewhere that you can have it's like a mutated gene that you don't get that, and I guess I think that maybe that's what I have, because like I've never experienced that, and maybe if I did, then I wouldn't do what I do.
You would.
I wouldn't have.
You would.
If I wouldn't have gotten this far, maybe, like, you know what I mean. So maybe that's lucky. I with the mutated gene, I'm also like I'm waiting for some scenario where the X-Men like really need me, like
this gift
for
that
for
you
my
have.
mutant power,
Yeah.
because Professor X, I'm gonna go to his school, and somehow I'll save the world somehow.
So you've got the mutant power thing going on, but how do you prepare, bionic, better, stronger, faster? How do you prep? Like we talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
How do you prep for something like this?
Like there's a lot of different ways to answer the question. Like there's like the prep that I do for like the like training to try to get to this stage, and then there's like the kind of prep that I do like on the day. So kind of like I do things like if it's something that's like speed eating, I've worked on like jaw strength. I just got I was talking about I got a jawzercise because before that I was buying a lot of chewing gum, and just like you throw like 5 of them in your mouth and kind of chew it for like the whole day to try to build up your jaw strength and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't being like zero waste, I'm like, I'm buying a lot of gum and just like throwing it out after I chew it, so I'm gonna get this like jazzercise thing. So there's stuff like that, or working on like swallowing fast, and like how much you can get away with swallowing, how much you can put in your mouth at a time, and stuff like that. Like trying to work on things like that, and like on the day of, like for eating spicy stuff, it's a lot of like stomach prep, I'd say. So it's like one of my key tricks or whatever that I actually learned from the Atomic Menace is you gotta have like your stomach like full. Like you gotta pretty much have a full stomach when you go to like do like a pepper eating competition, because like the eating peppers, like it doesn't really take up a whole lot of room like in your stomach. Like even, you know, the last one I did, like the one in Ottawa, like I ate maybe like 40 peppers and it didn't really, and I went in full, so it didn't really like add anything to that. But yeah, I guess like my kind of go-to meal is like hash browns, like, you know, diced potatoes, and you know, get some like real greasy ones. The grease kind of like soaks up a lot of the capsaicin. And
we're getting all the cheats and hacks.
The potatoes don't really digest like too quickly, stuff like that. So if you eat stuff that's gonna digest quick, like if you just like eat a whole lot of salad, then your stomach's gonna be empty when you eat those peppers. So.
We might have given your competitors some advantage here, though.
The real competitors know this, so it doesn't really matter. This is for people just getting into it, so you kind of know, I guess. But yeah, that's a lot of stomach prep. Eating another one that I do is like just before I'll eat like some either bananas and peanut butter sandwich separately or together.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Everybody loves the old.
Bananas, so
Yeah.
I like to put mine in a wrap. I don't want to have to, you know, go with all of the bread aspect of it. It's like a nice self-contained unit.
Yeah.
No, I'm all bread.
The bread is good for the peppers.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it was funny in Ottawa because I was like kind of listening to like the people in the audience, and they're like,
they didn't know
"Look
who
at-"
you were.
They're like, look at that guy, he's eating a banana. Look at that guy, he's eating peanut butter from the jar. And they're like, what's going on? And you're just like, this is just like what you do.
So, do you ever think that maybe he's taken it too far? Or have you ever been worried?
No, like I guess at the beginning when he threw up, I was worried,
Yeah.
but now I'm not. Like, when I guess I was like, he's like, okay, you need to teach me to swallow. I was like, okay, but I'm not going to be the like, oh, good job. I'm going to be like hardcore and like in like invested kind of thing. And then
Kind
like
of cruel to be kind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause
And then the last couple times I'm like, oh, like you did really well. Like I guess I'm just here to keep time.
and clean up any messes, right?
Well, I got to clean up my own mess.
Oh, I see.
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's quite a.
Now it's like people come over, like there's been a couple times like after the competition, like or doing a Guinness record, that paramedic has come over and been like, is he going to be okay? And Jamie's just like, oh yeah, he's going to be fine. Like, he's hurting now, like maybe he'll throw up, but after that, like he'll be okay.
Yeah,
it's just like,
you can't do anything. Like you just have to wait it out. After.
Yeah,
like,
time the great healer.
Yeah.
There's nothing that the hospital's just going to, I don't know, put something down your throat and make you throw up.
That's what I was
kind of
wondering.
thing.
If going to a hospital
Yeah,
would
like,
even
there's
be
not-
helpful.
there's
Yeah.
not much they can do for you, really. Like,
Yeah.
if you know, like the stuff I do is kind of extreme, but like for the most part, like I've seen videos where people have like eaten one pepper and they've like just like freaked out and gone to the hospital, and like it's like the hospitals, you just have to wait it out. Like after, you know, like when you eat like hot wings or whatever, right? Like after 20 minutes or so, like the heat dies down from your mouth, sort of thing, and then you're okay.
We're gonna
Like,
run with big
it's the same
blisters
for-
on your lips.
Yeah. But it's like there's this misconception, right, with eating hot peppers or hot food. Like people are like, oh, like that's gonna like burn your guts out, or it's gonna like just like, you know, burn through your whatever, right? But if that were the case, if that were ever to happen, like that would have happened to me already. That would have happened to me long ago. If you could die from eating peppers, I would be dead. There's other people would be dead, right? Because I'm like I tell, like my personal best for eating Carolina Reapers, I ate 56 of them in one go one time, and like people are like worried when somebody eats one, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But it's like, think of it like it's all just like a chemical reaction in the pepper. Like, you know, it's like a chemical that goes to your brain and makes you think that you're burning. Like it's like a defense mechanism for the pepper, right? So that you know, like certain species don't eat it. Like it's like birds actually aren't affected by that, and people think that it's because the birds will eat the peppers and the seeds, and then when they're, you know, flying around, they'll poop the seeds out, and then it spreads the seeds around, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of
It was
beneficial
meant to be,
for
yeah.
it's kind of meant to be. But like it's almost like when you know, if you hold a pepper in your hand, or even if you like cut it open and hold it in your hand, it doesn't it's not corrosive. It doesn't burn through your
Right.
hand.
Yeah.
So, and you can see your tongue, like if you've eaten hot stuff and your tongue isn't burned. So like, why do you think it's going to burn you on the inside? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It like feels like it's burning, but it doesn't actually cause any harm. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to like hurt a lot. If you're doing like really extreme stuff, it's going to hurt a lot, but it's not going to be unhealthy or like hurt you.
Well, there's so many
like,
health
physically
benefits
kill you.
to hot peppers anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
So how long afterwards, after he's had a little competition, can you give him a smooch?
Oh.
I don't know. Well, aside from the gross stuff that's going on, because I saw that grossness, but
Yeah, like
where you wouldn't feel the heat. You know what I
I
mean?
guess the next day,
Yeah.
probably.
I guess it depends what it is, right? Like if
Yeah.
I'm doing something where, because sometimes I'll, do like extreme stuff and there's just, just goobers and just snot and just, it's all over my face. Like I wouldn't want to kiss me either, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll, like the last one I did in Montreal where I kind of won like kind of easy. I felt bad that I won so easy, but I was like, oh, like, you could have kissed me after that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was okay.
Because I guess like I had the tolerance and I like adapted to like that. You're just like it burns, but it will go away. Because like last year was kind of like I used to eat something hot and then like that, and then my brain would instantly freak out and I'd be like, oh my god, and like drinking like the water and that. And I was like, okay, I need to train myself to not freak out. So that was kind of like my mission last year. Mm-hmm. So I really focused on like training myself not to freak out and just like kind of like meditating and not drinking the water. And I kind of done that now. So it's easier to do it.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier when we were speaking, in addition to pepper Guinness stuff, you've expanded, I guess, a little? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I have, yeah. So yeah, this was something that was really really cool as far as being vegan and stuff goes. Like I was sending these videos into Guinness for doing my pepper eating stuff, and then my kind of contact that I have there now, he was like, okay, like, oh, this video is so awesome, like, when can I get another one? And I'm like, oh, like, this was like right at the end of pepper season. Like it's hard to get like peppers when they're not in season, so I'm gonna have to wait like months and months. And he was like, well, is there anything else you can do? Like, is there something, like, is there another record you're thinking about going for? And I was like, oh, I never really thought about expanding into other stuff. So I was like, just thinking about it for a while. And I was like, how can I kind of like bring this back to like, kind of like my beliefs and like my, for, being vegan and everything. I thought like, I always thought it would be cool to like, to have a record that was something that typically people don't associate with veganism, but like make it vegan. So I haven't quite done this yet, but I was like, oh, like say like it's like fastest time to eat a burger, like most burgers eaten in a minute, but it's actually like Beyond Burgers or something like that. Like that would be super awesome, right? Yeah. So I told Guinness this, and he my contact was like, that's really good. Like I guess I think one of the top guys at Guinness is actually vegan too.
Oh,
so yeah, so he was they were like, oh, they're really interested in this and everything. So he said like, okay, like if you do a few records, and if you can break some records that are kind of like vegan foods, then we'll like do a feature video on you and call you like world's fastest vegan.
Right.
So I was like, this is awesome. so I looked at the records and stuff, and I was like, okay, like because I didn't really know anything about speed eating until like I had to associate it with like eating peppers, right? So I had to teach myself how to speed eat. So I'm like, okay, like there's they're obviously, not gonna lie, there are people in the world who are like way better at speed eating than I am. So I had to be pretty selective in the records that I chose to try to do ones that I thought I could actually do and stuff like that. Like I guess with eating hot ones, it's like a lot of the really good speed eaters can't handle the heat, so that's kind of, I got a good mix of speed and heat, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I started beating some veganish records. Like I have the records for fastest time to eat a head of lettuce, which is, you know, super vegan, and fastest time to eat a banana without using your hands.
Yeah, I watched that one. Yeah.
Which was super fun.
Well, just even you had to even peel it without your hands.
I had to peel it with my mouth. Yeah. So, you know, I guess being a vegan, I've eaten a lot of bananas. Right? I was really into. I don't know if you guys have heard of Freely, the banana girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was into her videos, like kind of. Anyway, I was into like some of her videos, like her older videos, right? And doing the banana diet. And I used to eat like I don't know, like 10 bananas a day, sort of thing. So I'm like, I know how to peel a banana really fast and eat it and stuff like that. Like I could figure this out. So that kind of got me into that.
What is the banana eating record without your hands?
It's I think it was 38 seconds, something like that. Wow. So yeah, it was actually I beat it like my first try. So
I learned how to be a speed eater when I was a kid because if my parents would let us have some potato chips and like my sisters were there, right? You bet. Like we were just all three of us as much as we could jam in at one time. So
like after you did the banana one, I was just kind of like,
where do we go from here?
And I'm like, oh, you did it. Because at the beginning, I'm like, how is he like gonna beat this? And then after he's like, oh, I've been practicing peeling it with like my mouth, like while I'm on my lunch break.
I needed my lunch break.
I imagine you in the cafeteria practicing this.
Yeah, like I usually go out to my car to do to have my break, right? But I'm like, how weird would it be if like, you know, one of my coworkers is like walking by and sees me try to like open up bananas with my mouth? I'm just like, this would be so crazy. But
this is the porno episode, isn't it? Yeah.
I also used to, when I was doing kind of the, you know, banana diet sort of thing, like we'd go to the grocery store and we'd have so many bananas and they're all like, you know how people like pull like the random bananas off and then the grocery store puts them in a bag to try to sell them, right? Yeah. So to try to sell them quick. I would have like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 like bags of bananas on the conveyor belt, like going to and the person's like, they'd either be like, somebody's making banana bread, or they'd be like, what's going on? And I'd be like, well, obviously I need some bananas for the monkey farm, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm not, and you know, because if I said like I just eat a lot of bananas, I just really like bananas, they'd be like,
get out of here, freak.
But it was pretty crazy experiences at the grocery store sometimes. But anyway, I also have the Guinness record for most almonds eaten in a minute and fastest time to drink 1 liter of tomato sauce
through a straw.
So after doing these records, then Guinness put like a really awesome video together that it's pretty cool.
So did you have to research what has the best viscosity for straw slurping tomato sauce?
I did I put a lot of thought into it, and like I was trying to find like the perfect straw, because I was like, Guinness, like some of the rules you have to follow are really specific, so it was like it had to be like a certain like thickness and maximum like length of straw and stuff like that. So I took that and I went to there's actually like a zero waste vegan grocery store here that sells like metal straws and like silicone straws and stuff like that. So I found like what I thought would be the perfect straw. Like it was exactly like, the limit for how wide it could be, because I was like, I'd really like a really wide straw so it would suck more up, and not too long but long enough it would like fit in the container and touch the bottom. And so there was a lot of thought went into selecting the straw and the container to put the tomato sauce in, and the tomato sauce itself.
Chunky tomato sauce wouldn't be helpful here.
No, it wouldn't be. I found one. I got one that was like just tomato sauce. There's nothing else in it. So just to try to make it like really liquidy, and I guess I made the mistake of like I was practicing with water, because I was like, oh, I'll just practice with water and stuff like that. And then when I got to doing the tomato sauce, it was like way different.
Yeah.
Right? Whole different ball game. But I still beat it in my first try.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I could try it again and like probably beat my
own
time,
record.
but I'll just wait until like I have another challenge or something. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well,
but-
do they have the records already? Like, do they have they make up a list of things they want people to do? Or
They
can
do,
you
yeah.
say, I would like to do this? Is that something you're interested
Yeah,
in?
there's
Do you know what I mean?
there's different things you can do. So yeah, like you can obviously beat a record that somebody else has already, or Guinness has like they have like a whole list of like records that they've kind of set standards for based on like other videos they've seen or other like competitions and stuff like that. They'll kind of like come up with a goal and be like, if you can beat this number, then you get the record, sort of thing. So I've beaten records doing both of those things. And then the other way is you can create your own
That's
record.
what I wondered, yeah.
So you can create your own record. I've never actually done that because there's just like enough
Yeah.
records out there that I could like
Yeah.
try and stuff like that. But I'm like, if I get like all the pepper records, like I might try that with do something else. Like there's, like there's like I have the record for fastest time to eat 3 Carolina Reapers, but there's not a record for fastest time to eat 10. So I'm like, maybe I could do that or
Yeah, I get
something
you.
like that. But yeah.
Just on that, what are the hot records that you currently hold with Guinness?
So I have the first one I did was fastest time to eat 3 ghost peppers, and that was one that somebody else had, and I beat it. There's like most ghost peppers eaten in a minute, and most ghost peppers eaten in 2 minutes, which was a tough one. I actually attempted that at a public event and didn't break the record, and I had to train really hard to like do it. And then the last pepper one that I've gotten was fastest time to eat 3 Carolina Reaper peppers. That's the world's hottest pepper, and that one was like the toughest one that I've done because it took me. I got it on my 12th attempt.
Not back to back.
Not like not back to back, but over the course of like 3 months.
Yeah.
I did it like I attempted the record like once or twice like every weekend. So it was tough because it started just getting to me, getting it into my head, sort of thing, right? Like, because after doing it for like months, I'm just like, am I gonna be able to do this? And then I would get like within a second of like beating the record and just being like, oh my god, I'm so close, but I haven't done it. Like, and I'm like running out of peppers. It's like getting to the end of pepper season. I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to get more peppers.
no.
And
So-
yeah.
You're the only person I know who's ever had that particular stress in their life, right? Yeah.
Now, in that type of scenario, like, is there specific rules, like you have to completely consume one before you can go to the next one, or like could you just go crazy and just like put all 3 in your mouth and just go to town?
Yeah, there's a lot of very specific things that you have to do. Like each pepper has to weigh a certain amount of weight. You have to weigh them all like on camera before you eat them and stuff like that.
Some you have to be like sitting down
Yes,
to eat.
some of them you have to be sitting. Yeah, some of them you have to be sitting down. Some of them it's not specified. And then like for most of the food eating records, you can't put them all in your mouth at the same time. You have to. It says they have to be eaten one at a time, but you don't. For the pepper records anyway, you don't have to verify like an empty mouth between each one.
Oh,
so
just
it's
at the
like
end.
you can kind of have like them chewed up in your in your mouth at the same time, but you have to like. I think it just makes it easier for them to count and verify how many you've eaten if you put them in your mouth one at a time. That's like the basis of that. So yeah.
I was just say, here's an actual quote from you. You just need your hands and your mouth, no brain. And then someone else in another video just said, put up or puke up. Do you use any sort of strategy at the time when you're eating the heat, like zoning out? And can you hear what's going on around you and things like that? And
that's a good question. There's there's kind of two different ways of going about it, like mentally and stuff like that. Like there's like when I'm doing like the Guinness more like speed eating is like one thing, and then doing like more of like a endurance challenge is like a totally different beast. So like when I'm doing the speed eating, I more like have to just concentrate on speed. So I'm just kind of like saying in my head like fast, and I have to put like my training aside. Like when I'm training and practicing, I'm like, thinking about like how much I've chewed, and then like, can I swallow now and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how much can I swallow in one go? But when I can't be thinking about it like too much when I'm trying to just go fast. And then the longevity thing is a totally different thing. I can hear people, like, it helps me when there's a crowd like cheering me on and stuff like that. So when I got my last one with the Carolina Reapers, it was actually different because Guinness usually wants you, like, Guinness says like you have to do them in a public place, but then because of COVID and all the they've changed the rules so you could just do them at home and stuff like that. So that kind of helped me with the doing the attempt 12 times, because if I did it 12 times in public and didn't do it, then I probably would have given up. Like, I wouldn't want to waste people's time and all
that guy's here again.
but the, like, kind of like what I call like my secret weapon, like my ultimate like strategy that I don't think enough people do in this kind of hot pepper or speed eating game is I have like the best coach.
There we go.
And she is there. I'm just like, okay, like I tell her, like, especially when I do like the longevity stuff, like, because what some people don't know too is, like when you're eating peppers, you get like a high.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah,
it really messes you up. It's
you don't want to stop riding that endorphin high. It's like, I just want to sit here and ride it, baby.
It's like I get to the point where I'm pretty much like I'm drunk. Like I'm just like I'm messed up, and I'm just like, okay, like I can't listen to my own thoughts. Like I can't listen to my brain. I have to just listen to Jamie, like,
don't trust pepper
like,
brain.
What to do, sort of thing. Yeah. So she's just like keep going, like, if it's a charity thing, she's like, do it for the children, do it for the animals, like, she's just like,
well, you kind of like
going.
Taught me what to say too.
Yeah, it's kind of, I coached her on how to coach me. It works out. One thing that I did recently too that really helped me like win this belt in Ottawa is I was like, I need something to focus on in case I can't hear Jamie, because when I did the one in South Carolina a couple of years ago, there was a huge crowd and I could not, Jamie was in the front row, but I couldn't hear her at all, and I think that's why I actually didn't win that. I didn't win that one. I only came in fifth in the whole world, competing with people from
you need like a baby monitor or something. You're talking about.
Yeah. So what I did was I was just like, who are like kind of like my major like heroes or influences or people that I can kind of just think about and just think about what they've achieved, and they would like, I'm like, if they could do that, then the least I could do is eat peppers for like. So I kind of narrowed it down to like two. So I have like this picture in a frame that I put in front of me. And sorry, I'm gonna start tearing up. It's sorry. On one side, it's Terry Fox.
Oh yeah.
And on the other side, it's Tiquan Duke, who's the kind of known as like the Burning Monk, who he like emulsified himself like for the for like to protest the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I'm just like, if Terry Fox can run a marathon every day for 143 days on one leg,
he was amazing.
Then like the least I can do is eat peppers for an hour.
Well, you even I was reading you were interested in changing Dundas Street to a Terry Fox.
Yeah.
Whatever street.
That's cool. You saw that, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, because there's talk about changing Dundas Street, and it's the street that Terry Fox like came in on when he came through London. And like London's pretty big on Terry Fox. There's like they have a bunch of plaques along Dundas and then up Richmond, because that's the kind of route that he took, and there's like a Terry Fox like pathway through the Springbank Park and stuff like that. So I was like, why not just like change it instead of being named after Henry Dundas, who did the kind of pretty racist stuff, I guess. Why not have it named after Terry Fox, who's like, because what he did was amazing, and I guess like being part of like a global community like the hot sauce community or pepper community, I talk to people from around the world, and I'm just like shocked at how many people don't know who Terry Fox is. And I'm like he should be known. Like everybody should know who he is. And like
he was a very special.
Yeah, like in Canada, like it's good that we know who he is. Sorry.
No, come on.
But yeah, it's like I think anything we could do to just like recognize what he's done, like it's worth doing.
I know that was that day when he finally had to stop his run. Like we were all devastated, huh? Like we'd all just grown to love him so much.
I think one thing that was like kind of funny when we were in Ottawa was because like Mike had his picture, but like he didn't like say like, oh, like this is my picture and stuff like that. So people maybe didn't notice it. And so he was like, okay, like you need to say these things to me. So I was saying them like that monk was literally on fire. Like you can eat a pepper, or like Terry Fox ran a marathon for 140 days. You can eat one more pepper, and I'd be like, just one more marathon. And because when I'm coaching him, I don't really care about other things. It's kind of like us. So I was saying this stuff, and then other people in the audience were kind of like what's she saying? Like, why is she talking about some like monk? And why is she talking about Terry Fox? Like,
or like people, yeah, like I didn't want to like, I'm pretty like I try to be like pretty humble and stuff like that, and I don't want to like bring a lot of attention to the thing, so I didn't make a big deal about my picture that I had and stuff like that. But and afterwards, people were asking me, and they're like, "Oh, I thought it was like a picture of Jamie or like a picture of your family or something like that." And I'm like, no, it's like I'm like if I just focus on that and just be like, okay, like like this is my marathon. I'm like, this is it's only going to be for maybe like an hour or so, and it's going to be a lot easier than what these guys did, so I can get through it.
I do something like that, somewhat similar, like if we have to do an animal rights event, like a demonstration or something, and say it's a really hot day or it's a really cold day, and I just think, man, this is like, just imagine what animals go through, and they have no end out of this. Like, at least at the end of this event, I can go home, or if I want to stop now, I can stop, right? But it just helps me to zone out and do it for them. So, okay, this is this is way different than what we're talking. Do you bring your own puke bucket to the competitions, or do they supply them for you?
They usually supply them, but I have my
like
own
sponsor names on it.
I have my own bucket that I bring now because I was just when I was talking to my contact at Guinness, he was actually at one time he said like, oh, like there's like a Guinness, like there's like the museums and there's a traveling exhibit and stuff like that, and do you have anything that you would like to give to the exhibit? And I was like thinking, oh, I could give them a headband, I could give them a shirt. And I was like, oh, like I could give them my bucket. And so what I decided to do was I was like, I was like, I can give them a bucket, but I was like, I have to make it.
But they were into it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, like you'd send like a bucket? And I was like, I'll send you a bucket in the mail. And I was kind of like, it'd be weird to like send them a bucket that's just like, just a Home Depot bucket or whatever. So, hot sauce makers, they always like are giving out stickers and stuff. And before, when I was like being zero waste and stuff, I would always kind of be like, oh, like don't give me your stickers. Like I'm just like, I don't have anything to do with them. But now I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna make this like cool bucket. I'll like put them on the stickers on the bucket, and then if any hot sauce makers want to send me their stickers, I'll put them on the bucket, and then it'll be in the somewhere on display with Guinness, and it'll be like free advertising on the puke bucket. You know what I mean? So I can show you the bucket if you want.
Oh,
it's right there. You can see it from
Wait,
there.
your mic is on. Wait, stop.
Oh,
that's okay.
is that okay?
No, you won't reach that far.
I probably won't.
Just take it off. Oh, you can grab it.
Okay.
Here's me just sitting here doing nothing, right?
All right.
Oh, nice.
There it is.
Nice. I don't want to smell the bucket. No, thanks. Just keep the bucket over there.
You usually keep it usually keep it pretty clean. It's not the best right now.
That looks very good. I love that bright orange.
All those stickers.
Crazy
Oh, gotta
bastard
put-
sauce.
Put some more on here. Yeah, crazy bastard sauce.
Nice.
They sent me hot sauce from Germany.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, do people just send you stuff like without you asking? You don't request.
I don't request. No,
You know you've hit the big time now, huh?
We like don't feel comfortable like
yeah, we don't feel
requesting.
comfortable like
Yeah.
requesting stuff. So I don't know. Like if people want to send stuff, like I like hot sauce, so I'll like send it out. Or, like we used to do like. I think what happened was it was saying like our YouTube channel was originally called Hot Reviews, and it was called Hot Reviews because it was like movie reviews that we were doing. But I think that they thought it was like hot sauce reviews, so people started sending us like hot sauce to review on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because there's people that do that, right? So
You weren't quick to like set them straight, right? You're like,
well, it's like these people want to send me sauce. Like I don't know. I guess like instead of eating peppers and reviewing a movie, we'll do sauce and review a movie. So that's what we were doing. And then I was like, I don't know. And people were sending me sauce, and I was doing a review for every sauce, and it got like really overwhelming, to be honest, because there was a lot. There's like, I never really realized like how many craft hot sauce makers there are. Like
yeah.
there's like so many even in Ontario, but like in Canada and the U.S. and like all over the world, right? And I'm honored that people have sent me sauce from like Germany and from like New Zealand and like just like all over the world, like from South Africa, from the UK, like
Wow.
all over the place.
United Nations in your fridge, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you ever get any non-vegan ones sent to you though? Is that not really a thing with
I have
hot sauce? Oh, okay.
like accidentally, like at first I was like, I guess I didn't really know to say, but now I usually say like if people are going to send me sauces, just be like, like as long as they're vegan friendly, or I'll check their website and make sure they're vegan friendly.
Yeah.
I guess the one ingredient usually is honey.
Oh yeah.
That's like,
That's
but it's
right.
like it is kind of rare that there's honey in a sauce.
yeah.
Or there's been stuff like Worcestershire.
Yeah,
Worcester?
yeah.
I think it's
Worcestershire.
Worcester or something. Worcestershire.
Yeah, because it has
Yeah.
No,
anchovies in it.
Yeah.
Or like there's like the odd ones that have like bacon in it, but even some of those ones are like it's actually
It's
vegan,
vegan.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it happens sometimes. What I am kind of proud of too is like there's been people who have been like, I'll send you these sauces, and I'll be like, like your sauce has honey in it. Like I'm vegan. I'm not going to do that. And then there've been hot sauce companies who have changed and taken the honey out.
Wow.
Yeah, to like change it. So
Well then, yeah, it's so inclusive. Anybody can eat it then.
yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
Very cool.
Oh, that well.
See, and so your
There's your activism
records
at work.
is actually leading to activism.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Do you take any requests for vegan speed eating? And if someone makes a request of you, do you ever like laugh maniacally or say in some weird accent, "Challenge accepted" or anything
I
like?
definitely say challenge accepted.
Oh.
Because we're pretty big into How I Met Your Mother. Because that's what challenge accepted.
Oh.
Like Barney always says that, right? So I love posting like the little like GIF of Barney saying that sort of thing. So yeah, pretty into
I
that.
actually didn't know that, and the challenge accepted was just some weird thing I came up with. So that's
Oh, yeah.
wild that you do that.
Yeah, I do that for sure. I don't think people have actually made requests for Guinness Records and stuff that they want me to attempt, but I would
Well, just crazy
I
stuff
would
to
cater
eat.
to that. Like
Speaking
yeah,
of
like
Guinness.
usually people will be like on my YouTube channel, Mike Jack Eats Heat. People be like, maybe they'll see like one of my older challenges, or they'll see like something that I've done, and they'll be like, "Oh, like you should do this," and then I'll be like, "Oh, like it's not really a challenge for me," you know what I mean? They'll be like, "Oh, like you should eat 5 habaneros," and I'll be like, like I've done check out the rest of my channel, like I can tell you're new, you know.
Something a little more current.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, you recognize this handsome fella?
Oh, who's that guy?
Huh? That's quite a spread.
Oh, thank you.
Like, oh, yeah, you're welcome. Very nice.
So you mentioned earlier your YouTube channel now, Mike Jack Eats Heat,
Yep.
is the current one. And is that the same across other socials as well?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you just search it on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, you'll find me. I'm there.
Eating hot stuff.
Eating hot stuff and other stuff, and posting a lot of vegan food that I eat and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a while ago you said I kind of want to make like eating vegan food look fun. So we would just do like these crazy challenges, like but just like veganize them. Like there's that like crazy pizza one we did.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it wasn't even really a spicy challenge, but there's this place in St. Catharines, Rollin' Pizza, and they do vegan pizzas. So they have it wasn't really a challenge until I made it one. But they have a
Anything can be made.
yeah. They sell what they call like the big slice. So it's like it's like a big slice of pizza, right? It's basically, it looks like a party pizza, but they cut like two of the corners off to make it like a slice. And one of my friends, like one of my best friends, actually my friend Drew that I started Mike and Drew Sorry Brews with, he is from St. Catharines. So one time when we went to visit, I was like, let's both get these pizzas and we'll just eat them, right? So I did a fun like challenge where I ate a giant slice of pizza, and it was a vegan slice. So
I was like thinking that's a good one, but I was thinking of like the bubblegum pizza.
oh, the bubblegum pizza, yeah, that was a funny one too. Yeah. There's like there was a thing going around on Reddit, and then they talked about it on the YouTube channel Good Mythical Morning, pretty big channel, about this pizza that they sell somewhere in Europe, and it is a bubblegum and banana pizza. And we're like, that sounds so weird. Like, and I love like just crazy fusions and just like weird.
Probably could taste all right.
Stuff.
That's the thing, right?
So we made it. We made a vegan bubblegum and banana pizza, and we ate it, and it was actually like not too bad. Yeah, it was kind of got weird after a few slices, like just but it's like the bubblegum like melts like the like
like cheese.
Yeah,
you buy like that shredded bubble gum.
Oh, Big Chew.
Like Big Chew or whatever.
I
Yeah.
didn't know Big Chew's vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of weird sugar.
Yeah, it's probably just a bunch of. It's probably not good for you. It's a bunch of chemicals and stuff. But
Probably not.
No.
And I was like, I don't know if you're supposed to really eat gum, but like.
I don't know. I've been eating it all my life.
Yeah. But whatever. So.
I always swallowed my gum as a kid, so. Do you have a favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers song?
I do. They're like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I guess my favorite one is, a lot of people say this is their favorite one, but I really like "Give It Away."
Oh yeah,
because
give it away,
I love,
give it away.
Yeah, I love that it's like kind of like the double entendre, because it's also what's the one lyric that I just like love? It's like oh shoot, I forget the actual lyric right now, but it's about like just giving your stuff away, like it's like unimpressed with material excess.
Oh, nice.
Love is free, love me, say hell yes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's
So
nice.
it's just like
That actually really fits with the mottos that you've been talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like with just like minimalism and being like really charitable. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers are they are really charitable, and they're not vegan, but they're pretty like into sort of vegan stuff. Like
I think Flea's vegan.
Yeah, I thought
is
he was.
he vegan? Okay. Yeah, because Flea has his charity Bees Fleas, or Fleas Bees. I said it the wrong way. Bees Fleas, that would be weird. But like Fleas Bees, where he he has his own like bee sanctuary where he like rescues like bees and stuff, and just lets what do you call it, like bees that were like in captivity just be like free. Mm-hmm. And then Anthony Kiedis is like a huge donator to Sea Shepherd. He's pretty into that, and we love like Sea Shepherd, so yeah.
I think did he buy a boat?
he either bought a boat or he put a lot of money into
Wow.
like getting a boat.
Yeah, those things are not cheap
Yeah.
at all.
But you have a Chili Peppers like karaoke song.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes
Let's fire up the karaoke
sometimes
machine.
I'll do give it away, but the other one that I do that is kind of like, you know, the real Chili Pepper fans. This is like kind of like, you know, it's like more of a Chili Peppers deep cut. There's a song Sir Psycho Sexy, which is I kind of just like it because of the kind of inappropriate lyrics and stuff like that.
Brings out the teen in you, huh? The kid
Yeah,
in
for
you.
sure. Yeah. Back when I first like heard the Blood Sugar Sex Magic album, that was like one that I like.
That resonated.
That really resonated. I was like, whoa, this is like, young me was just like really, just blown away by this song. So, but yeah, for some reason they had like when you look at karaoke catalogs when you go to a bar, that's in there a lot of the time.
Really?
And I'm like, this is
What?
weird. Like it's like, oh, it's got like "Give It Away Under the Bridge" and "Sir Psycho Sexy," and you're like, oh, okay, well, good thing I know all the lyrics to this song. So.
That's so good. Well, I must say, what you're doing, it's truly a unique form of activism and one which is catapulting the vegan message out into the mainstream. So I thank you both for your contribution and to advancing the animals agenda and positioning animal rights in the mainstream. So thanks a lot,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for having us.
But now the
Dun, dun, dun.
demo portion. So Mike and Jamie have been very gracious, generous hosts and kindly prepared, I guess it was Jason over there who did the preparation.
Here.
And
You'll have
they're-
to check out the extra
little-
cut here with the information on how to prepare these vegan wings.
Yeah. And there are various levels of hot sauce, and I'm obviously sitting here stupid enough to try them, and Alec is going to as well. Any idea of the Scoville level of these?
Or
things?
even, at least,
Even
can we
just-
at least say what the sauces are that we're going to be dipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What sauces did we pick? There was
Should we like get them?
Actually, why don't we, Jason, can you just press break, stop? And you got your mic?
I usually use the bluish one for tears. If that helps.
Okay. Is that going?
Yep, yeah, you're
Oh, okay, thank you. The blue, okay.
All right, so just kind of centered here. Can you see yourself over there, Sue? Or
Yep.
is it black? Okay. Okay, we are ready.
Okay, before we begin, have you ever heard of anyone passing out, having a heart attack, or even dying while eating a really hot pepper, asking for a friend?
No, I haven't. No dying, heart attack.
Passing out, no.
Passing out? No. No.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll just tell my husband and my human and fur kids I love them. So you've given us 2 different colored cloths. So what are these
Yeah.
for?
So pro tip, it's good to have 2 cloths, different colors, so you know that one is for like kind of your mouth and nose, and the other one is for your eyes, because you don't want to get like, the hot stuff on a towel and then wipe it on your eyes.
Oh, right.
Because that's gonna hurt more.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Then
So
I'm gonna make this
eyes and mouth is what you
Yeah.
recommend?
I'm going to
Yeah,
make
that's
this
what I
one
would do,
eyes
yeah.
for me. This one's eyes.
All right.
I'm going to go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, just in case. It might not get that crazy, but
I personally think we're going to be fine, but we'll see.
yeah, it's just 3 of them here.
So
We're not going like super ridiculous, but
Stupid.
I don't know. But my level of ridiculous and other people's level of ridiculous may vary.
So what do we have going on here? You said this one's going to be number 1, which is which of these guys?
Which is Herberry Farm Starless.
yeah, so it is it's a smoky mole sauce. So it has it's a very delicious sauce in our opinion. It's got what does it have? Cocoa. It has like some coffee, I think.
Yeah. Mushrooms.
Sounds nice.
Mushrooms. Yeah.
Sounds very benign and lovely.
All right.
All the sauces today are from Ontario.
Nice.
So yeah. So
All
that
right.
is this first one here, the
Okay.
kind of dark brown one.
All right, I've already got
They
mixed
they
up.
classify it as a medium sauce.
And
For
this
us-
is weak sauce, right?
Yeah, this is like the weakest one today as far as heat.
All right,
But not
so
for-
Can we
cheers.
just take a bite first?
Cheers.
Like and
No,
are we eating
go
the
big
whole
or go
thing?
home.
All right,
Ready?
so I've got my tear
You'll be
rag
okay.
down here.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. Ready?
Whoa! Going all in.
Oh, that's good. Oops. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That was good.
Yeah, I would say kind of a mole barbecue
Yeah.
going on. It's nice.
Very barbecue. Yeah, we use it as it's like a barbecue sauce. So
Oh, sorry. Well, the nose is running already. So.
yeah.
Okay, that
Okay.
was easy peasy lemon squeezy. How are you feeling over there? Good?
It's great. Yeah, I got a runny nose. That's all.
Uh-oh.
So this is gonna get really
Whoa.
ugly.
All right, so level 2, what do we got?
We got ginger goat.
Ginger goat. And this is also from Ontario?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's from Kitchener-Waterloo
Yeah.
area, right?
This is my second favorite sauce.
second
in the
favorite?
world, yeah.
Was your first favorite too hot for us?
No, it's
Or,
limited.
oh no, that's the one that limited edition that you can only
Oh, yeah.
you have to prove yourself before you can taste that one.
So it's this sauce was on the show Hot Ones,
Mm-hmm.
the YouTube show, and I'm pretty sure it was like number 6 sauce.
It's like
pretty sure.
yeah, it's like pineapple gingery.
And there are, to be honest, there are Carolina Reaper peppers in this, but it is low in
Such a low-
it's low in the ingredients
Yeah.
list, so it's like not an extreme
Excellent.
sauce.
All right,
My
so
lips
which one
are
is
burning.
So that is this one here.
this one over here?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
good luck. All right. Uh-oh.
She went all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
That was actually.
I'm gonna wind up
wasn't
choking to
bad.
death, that's all. Oh yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. See,
Maybe I'm better than I thought.
So we're
No,
not-
I
we're not
think
telling
that they were pulling the punches on this.
Oh yeah.
we weren't sure how crazy to go,
Yeah.
Okay.
so we went. Okay.
My gums are burning, for God's sake. Is that natural?
Yeah.
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 Feel
Yeah.
it on your gums, on your lips. Yeah. Feel some burn in there. All right. So this one is a little bit hotter. This one is Dawson's Szechuan ghost pepper sauce. So they have this one as on the Dawson's heat scale. It's a 9.5 out of
Yeah.
10. So it's like hotter there. For us, it's not too bad, but ghost peppers are pretty hot.
This sauce is hot, and it's hot.
Yeah.
I feel that like
Oh no.
This one, yeah, like I can feel the heat on it, so it must be like
My
fairly
mouth
hot.
is burning.
All right. So, just give you that last chance to choose whichever one you want.
Oh no, baby.
Oh, Kitty, you don't want any.
No.
She knows not to.
Yeah.
She'll just smell it and be like,
Do you have
oh,
a
that's
preference
spicy.
over which drumstick you're going to grab
Well, I
here?
may not eat the whole thing. I might just take
Okay.
the one closest.
Okay. Here we go. Ready?
Yep, go. Oh, you took it all. How long till things get ugly?
It's not that bad.
Should I just do the whole thing?
It's
Yeah.
up to
Let's
you.
do it.
There you go. Not bad at all. So now, you would consider this something hot that you enjoy, but it's not like working on any records or anything.
Yeah, for sure. That
Well,
one
it's
is
fucking hot, I'll tell you that.
that one, that one is one that we use fairly often,
Yeah.
but it's not like we're not like really challenging ourselves with it, I guess. But yeah, we love that one on some Asian cuisine. Some
Definitely has a little creep going on, yeah.
it has just like a really unique flavor.
This
How
is
do you,
my nose one. Excuse me, everyone.
How do you catch a unique hot sauce?
Sneak up on it. I'm sorry to do this. Like now you have to do my laundry. I'll take this back to the hotel, clean it, and
Oh, that's
then
okay.
take it
We'll
back.
throw it in the laundry. We're okay.
How do you catch a tame hot sauce?
How do you catch what?
A tame hot sauce.
A tame hot sauce.
The tame way. I've heard these in
So,
Woo!
how do you feel?
Feeling my teeth, feeling my lips, feeling my gums. Oh yeah, my tongue definitely.
So, those are some of the amazing hot sauces that we can get here in Ontario.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they were all
Dawson's-
tasty.
yeah, they're
I mean,
from
that's the
Hamilton.
thing. So there's that.
All right, so we're going to make that one, try to be our sort of short clip maybe.
Weirdly, it's getting worse.
Oh, yeah.
Time
Yeah,
goes
it
on.
It
Yeah.
does for a little bit, yeah.
Especially the Szechuan one. It builds and lingers.
That's that last one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is like what's kind of neat about some sauces. Some you're like, oh, this is really like sweet, and then you're like, oh, it's good, but then it just like hits you. The heat just like comes, and it's really interesting how like some peppers like will do that, but then some peppers it's just like instant heat.
Yeah.
All right, are we at a break point here?
Oh, I
Before you
think
start getting
so.
sloppy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good to show.
It wasn't as bad as I.
Good to show that it's not all. It's not